Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online and on the go. This is Valley News Live 10 at 10.
If you think your Wi-Fi is secure, think again, regardless of how good your password is or what kind of safety settings you have. Someone could be watching everything you're doing and stealing your personal information.
That's what a computer security researcher says after discovering a flaw in everyone's Wi-Fi network. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Nicole Johnson explains the potential risk.
From the safety of home on a password-protected Wi-Fi, many people check their bank accounts, do taxes, shop online, or use social media without even thinking someone could be spying on them. A computer researcher has found a vulnerability in wireless internet that allows anyone to download a program and hack into anyone's nearby Wi-Fi.
It's not something that can be done remotely. I mean, there's not a threat of, the Chinese hackers are going to be able to get into my home network. They have to physically be near enough to your wireless router to be able to connect to it.
Cybersecurity expert Jeremy Van Dyke says the best thing you can do to protect yourself is use a cord to connect to the internet. But that's not always possible. He says if you're using a secure website like your bank, that's encrypted and your information should be secure even if you're hacked.
The bigger threat is the social media.
Especially if you're using the same password for multiple sites.
Once they're able to see a username and password, then it's just a matter of time to see where else you've used that password.
Van Dyke says cell phones are an even bigger threat. Everyone wants to save data and connect to Wi-Fi, often on secure Wi-Fi. And who knows how many people are spying on you through there.
Unless you really know where you are and trust it, it's safer to not. Your data plan is going to be safer.
Regardless of what device you're on or whose Wi-Fi it is, experts say this new discovery should put everyone on high alert. Nicole Johnson, Valley News Live.
Another thing Van Dyke recommends is looking at your settings on your phone. Often people have Auto Connect turned on, which allows your device to get onto Wi-Fi without asking your permission. He says that's opening you up to a lot of vulnerability.
We've reported before that opioids are being smuggled across our borders, and locals say that's only part of the problem. Tanya Oakes shared her story exclusively with Valley News Live today. She got busted with fentanyl and says it's everywhere and easy to get. She says she's been sober for about a half a year and now wants to help others. Oakes takes responsibility for her addiction, but says an open community can help other addicts.
It's choices that we make personally, but it's also choices and resources within the community that are going to help people make the right choices.
There's more to her story. Go to valleynewslive.com and click on this story.
Fargo police are investigating after a motorcyclist was hurt in a crash just south of 32nd Avenue and 25th Street. They say a male motorcyclist was found under the SUV involved in the crash. Police have not released the motorcyclist's name at this point, but say he was taken to a hospital to be checked out. Authorities say they are still unsure if speed was a factor in the crash and have brought in a crash reconstruction specialist to help in the investigation.
A bipartisan fix to the health care dilemma is in the works tonight.
Two senators, a Republican and a Democrat, say they have found a way forward and are rallying their respective sides. Mola Lenghi reports from the White House.
On the Senate floor Tuesday, Republican Senator Lamar Alexander offered up a short-term plan to shore up Obamacare.
This agreement avoids chaos, and I don't know a Democrat or a Republican who benefits from chaos.
The plan would, for the next 2 years, restore subsidies to health insurance companies to help cover low-income Americans. President Trump announced just last week he would stop the payments. The bill would also allow states to offer a wider variety of health insurance plans. The Tennessee senator is crafting the bill with Democratic Senator Patty Murray of Washington.
We've been able to bridge the divide.
The plan appears to have broad support from Democrats, but among Republicans, it's a mixed bag.
We are subsidizing a broken individual market.
But Senator Susan Collins is pleased with the agreement. The Republican from Maine helped sink previous attempts to repeal and replace Obamacare.
Acting quickly is an urgent priority for me.
President Trump says he's been involved in the process, but he adds it's not a long-term answer to health care reform.
While I commend the bipartisan work done by Senators Alexander and Murray, and I do commend it, I continue to believe Congress must find a solution to the Obamacare mess instead of providing bailouts to insurance companies.
But late Tuesday afternoon, he tweeted, "Any increase in Obamacare premiums is the fault of the Democrats for giving us a product that never had a chance of working." Mola Lenghi, CBS News, the White House.
Senators Alexander and Murray hope to present their bill to Senate leaders by the end of the week.
President Trump's travel ban has been dealt yet another blow. A judge in Hawaii temporarily blocking the administration's latest version of the travel ban, set to take effect midnight. The most recent ban restricts various types of travelers from Chad, Iran, Libya, North Korea, Somalia, Syria, Yemen, and Venezuela. This is the third time that Hawaii has blocked President Trump's travel restrictions from proceeding. The White House says today's court order is dangerously flawed and undercuts the president's efforts to keep the American people safe.
Have you ever wanted to be a kid again? Principals and teachers across North Dakota had the opportunity recently as part of the School Retool program. They followed a student around for an entire day to observe what it's like. Some found that lunch and the time between class periods are too short.
I think that having smaller communities actually makes change a lot more possible. We're spending today at Legacy High School in Bismarck, and some of the things that have been implemented here are fantastic.
For more information about School Retool, go to valleynewslive.com and click on this story for a link.
The end of an era tonight in West Fargo as swimmers took their last strokes at the L.E. Berger Elementary Pool. The pool first opened its doors in 1976 when the first high school swim teams forming shortly after in 1977. The West Fargo Flyers Swim Club also started in the summer of that year. Not only was it swim meet for the Packers today, it was also Senior Day, adding meaning to the already historic day.
Well, today may be a bit sad with the last meet in Berger Pool for those of us who were here 40 years ago for the opening of Berger Pool. We're so excited about what this brings to the community for the sport, as well as for bringing people to Fargo who've never been here.
Today's close of L.E. Berger also marks the beginning of another era. Next year, competition will take place at the new Olympic pool in the Hulbert Aquatic Center, a location that boasts an Olympic pool and a warm water pool used for teaching and therapy.
A small Minnesota town north of Brainerd may be a long ways from Loch Ness in the UK, but that doesn't mean residents don't have their own problems with a monster taking over one nearby body of water.
Reporter Boyd Hoopert has more on the traveling visitor floating on the loose along North Long Lake.
This Brainerd area body of water will never be mistaken for Loch Ness, but North Long Lake has its own monster.
There's never been one ever seen this large before. It's kind of the wild beast of North Long Lake right now.
A floating bog the size of 3 football fields broke off from shore late last week and started wandering.
When it was out in the middle of the lake and the wind was blowing, it just was a monster coming at you.
And the monster is already proving itself to be hungry. The crumbs of smashed docks are now part of the traveling bog. This is the damage left behind.
Came down this way and just crushed these docks.
The loose bog.
Jeff and Kathy Combs will be getting their boat lift off the lake tomorrow.
We saw what it did to the neighbors' docks and lift, and no way do we want that to happen to ours.
A combination of record high lake levels and strong winds set the bog free.
You can see there's cattails in there, there's bulrush in there, there's, I don't know, probably even 100 trees in there. We're looking for help on how would you take this thing and put it back where it belongs and anchor it.
We're gonna give her. See what happens.
Tow trucks and thousands of feet of cable were twice used to move and anchor a bog in Barron County, Wisconsin, most recently in 2011.
Short term right now is a lot of prayers that it stays here.
North Long Lake has already had enough of its beast of a bog.
It's the beast. It's the wild beast.
The Brainerd Dispatch reports that some neighbors have talked with the Department of Natural Resources looking for help in dealing with the bog.